Hello, my name is Mark Johnson. And recently, I've been thinking about what happened 30 years ago at Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C. So what happened? DPN. Now at that time, it wasn't called DPN. So I've been thinking about the history of what happened 30 years ago. You know, for all this time, deaf people have faced more and more discrimination and more blocks, more barriers. So why can't we do something similar to what they did at Gallaudet 30 years ago? On March 17th, at Gallaudet University, the students decided they were finished. But you have to understand that all of these things, this commotion wasn't allowed. The board of directors at Gallaudet University decided to choose a hearing person to become the president of the university. But the students decided that they needed to stop, that the board of directors shouldn't do that. It's a deaf university. And so they all went through and talked about it, and about 4 of them but really there were 8 different people involved, but they picked 4. But they picked 1 of the 4 to be their leader of the protest. Now, I went to Gallaudet, but when that happened in 1988, I wasn't there at the time. I just want to be clear. When that happened, they decided that they had had enough and that the students wanted a deaf president. So all of that happened from March 17th all week for about Sunday. During the week, the president resigned, and at the end of the week, they finally picked a new president, a deaf man. The hearing members of the board were not happy. They thought that a deaf president would cause the school to be shut down. So really it meant that of the people that could have been chosen to be president, they looked down at the members, at the choices that were deaf. So in that one week, all of the newspapers, the top headlines were about the school. They had marches. But up until that, there were no newspaper articles about it. And now thinking back to that time in 1988, the top headline I can think of was that the world heard Gallaudet. At that time, the deaf world became silent. But what did that mean? I don't know. You have to figure that one out for yourself.